Continuing our session on vector and bitmap objects. Just want to go over a few things relating to bitmaps. I've just got 3 bitmaps down here at the bottom or on my workspace here. 3 different types of bitmaps, and we just want to go into the basics of this. Let me go ahead and zoom in here and we'll take a look at what we're working with, what we have here. Well, there's a number of bitmaps supported in the CorelDRAW application. You've got RGB, paletted, lab colors, all kinds of different color models or color values that you can apply to your bitmap objects in CorelDRAW. I just want to go over a few of the fundamentals here so you can have an understanding of what these bitmaps are and how they work, and we'll lay a foundation that will give us some understanding as we move forward into some more training with the bitmaps and of course the pixels here. As we talked in early sessions, we know that bitmaps consist of pixels, and these pixels all have digital color data values and transparency values applied to them. If we look at this first bitmap, we've got a CMYK bitmap, and it's set up at 30 dpi, and I did that so we could still see the pixels while we were working. Next to that, I've got a grayscale bitmap, and then next to that, I've got a monochrome bitmap. Now, we'll notice with these bitmaps, we can do different editing things. This monochrome is really a bitmap that's been set up as a 1-bit black and white, but yet it has levels of transparency associated with it, very similar to an 8-bit mask, which is kind of in-depth. We won't get into that, but we do want to be aware that really this is a 1-bit black and white image. Now, what's the differences here? Well, the CMYK bitmap is comprised of 4 colors, which is, cayenne, yellow, magenta, and black. A grayscale bitmap really consists of only 256 shades going from white to black. A monochrome bitmap is really just black and white. There's no colors between the two, but this looks like a grayscale bitmap, and we have color management capabilities with this through a right click because of the mask that's applied to it, not because of its tonal values or color values. But I wanted to use this as an example so we could see how transparency can be used to affect our objects and change our colors and be used to create effects, and almost like an illusion, because even though this is a 1-bit or black and white bitmap, it has the illusion of many more colors due to levels of transparency. If I change that to a green, you can see how that works, or to a yellow. Might be something you want to use for a flame effect or something. But take a look at this CMYK here. Notice if we work from CMYK colors, I can use the effects, adjust, and replace colors again. You notice I could click on my blue here, grab this eyedropper, left click on that, come over with the eyedropper, left click on my bitmap, and then change my color to a red. Click on preview, and now I can't see it anymore because it's been changed to a red, but I can change that to a yellow this way. I'm working very differently with this bitmap than I would the monochrome bitmap. Go ahead and select OK. So what does that give me? Well, if I learn how to work with the different types of bitmaps in the CorelDRAW application, both in Draw and PhotoPaint, I'll understand what options are available to me and how the management of these pixels or these bitmaps and how I can apply effects to them and use them on my graphics will work. Here I've got a grayscale image, and notice if I go to Effect and I go to Adjust and I go to Replace Color, I'm only going to be able to change grayscale colors. In other words, if I come here and click on, select my eyedropper tool, click on the black, and then come in here and select red, you'll notice that I won't get a red in my preview. And that's because I'm going to get a grayscale value of that red, because the color red doesn't exist in the color spectrum of that bitmap. It's a grayscale bitmap. So if I'm working with grayscales, I'm not going to be able to make the editing or the color change that I can make with the CMYK type of bitmaps. However, I can very easily in Draw go to bitmaps and mode and change my mode, let's say to RGB. Then I can go to effects, adjust, and something like replace colors. I could click on my black that I have here and then preview, and you'll see now I've been able to change that to a yellow. So moving forward, we'll need to be able to pay attention to what type or color modes are associated with, I'll select OK, our bitmaps and how we work with them differently. Now, we're not going to go deep and cover everything, as this is an introduction to CorelDRAW training, and once you've finished with this course, it would behoove you to continue your training, obviously. but we're going to set a foundation for all this as we move forward. So far we've gone through very basic things, and in the next sessions we're going to start picking up and moving forward with some different things in our introduction to the CorelDRAW graphics suite.